gang. Hey, nothing but love and respect. You might have some cool fans, but mine are the best. We've been through it all, went to war when duty called. Never left a man behind, we move as one is super strong. I don't want followers, that implies I'm the leader. I'm not the captain, I just gave them something they can believe in. I hold the lamp in the darkness, but they're the light that I needed to see the road that we walk in between the angels and demons. And my fans have my back. Hate us if your feelings don't like facts. And my fans will fight back. Beat you with the keyboard you've been using to write back. I guess we need each other like both sides of the battery. We the army, we the homies, we the gang, we the cavalry. We're brothers and sisters, we hold it down like we gravity. Can't nobody break the bond that made us all family.
Me and my fans, we don't care what anybody say. Middle fingers to whoever in the way, man. Me and my fans, we gon' be together to the grave. It's a gang till forever and a day, man. Me and my fans, we don't even trip in the hate. We got all the fuck in our veins, man. Me and my fans,
We the hangover gang. Gang, 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 gang.
Oklahoma weather can dish out some of the worst punishment in the world. Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Tuttle. But now you can fight back by installing Class 4 impact-resistant shingles from Ferguson Roof Systems. These shingles can withstand large hail, heavy rain, and hurricane-force winds, all while keeping your home safe and dry. And the best part? This upgrade is completely free for many homeowners. So call today to start reaping the benefits these Class 4 shingles bring, including a discount on home insurance. Only at FergusonRoofSystems.com. Hey everyone, meteorologist Tuttle back with you again. It is time for weather updates. We're going to do that here real quick for you. And this one will be probably pretty quick. Got a lot to do here, so I'm going to kind of just run right through, so hang with me. So if you watched last night, it's been kind of a similar format where we're going to show you a lot of things to digest, and then we're going to get you out there and starting your day. So thanks for joining your lunch hour, a little bit of that with me, and we'll get on to business at hand. All right, so first things first, if you've noticed, we have a little bit of cloudiness that has kind of worked in. There's some high-level clouds, kind of in beginning stages of what's going to be coming up as we go through time, as more moisture works in. And temperatures, oof, very nice. We're 61 degrees here in my backyard. I'm loving it. Southeast winds are starting to pick up. It is going to be a windy day today, by the way. So do not burn anything outdoors. We've had drought conditions for a while now, and so it won't take much to get a fire going. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind today. Temperatures elsewhere across the state are into the 60s already as we approach our lunchtime hour, so not bad there. We talked about the threat of severe weather right here anchored over Oklahoma and on into northwest Texas. We zoom in a little bit. That kind of puts most of the state in a slight risk here for severe weather. Tornado potential low, hail size up to about golf balls in diameter. Maximum wind speeds could be up to around 80 miles per hour at most. And on eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, same idea. As most of this activity that will be coming in during the evening and overnight period, so it'll be a late show. When we look at the potential for severe weather reports in this type of an environment, historically, it does bullseye it right here. We just saw the slight risk area from the Storm Prediction Center of the National Weather Service. So historical guidance does suggest, yeah, you're going to see a few reports of severe weather. That was just one report. If we have at least 5 reports, you can see it's still anchored right here over the Oklahoma City metro area. 10 severe weather reports or more, you can see that starts to dwindle. So in other words, this is showing the magnitude of this event is not all that great, but it's enough to get your attention. All right, we look at the other highlights here in the western Texas. That'll also be a favorable area for a little bit of severe weather later on this afternoon and the evening as that system kicks on out. Speaking of which, here's a look at that system. This is the upper level low right here that we're watching for. As this swings on through, it'll be the kicker for all of our instability to produce the inclement weather coming our way. And the track of it here by this afternoon and evening is stationed right about here in west central New Mexico. So it's late to the party, in other words. That usually focuses most of its lift kind of in this region during that time frame, but this lift pocket will move to the north and east as this slides out from this position at 6 p.m. To 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll shove everything north and east, and that's how we're going to get those showers and storms to get going around here once it does happen. So what also will happen with that deep low is it will try to bring in some decent moisture. And if you notice out there right now, it's pretty dry. Dew point values are into the 20s and 30s across the state with all the real juice down here along the Texas coastline. Look at this 30s into Texas. So the moisture is going to be anemic. It's going to be very shallow based. And if we kind of move this through time, you can see how it does start to slowly work its way back in Oklahoma into the midnight hour. So it's taking a long time just to get here. And this is dew point values there in the 50s and 60s. As we head into Wednesday morning, there's more there. So we've had a full 24 to 48 hours now to get this moisture back in here. And so here's Wednesday evening, and then we've got some dew points now into the 50s across many areas of the state. That's just the borderline, really, for severe weather. You really want dew point values, into the 60s to really increase the magnitude, but you can get into the 50s, and that's where a lot of Texas is now seeing it. So it doesn't take long to get that gulf of moisture back into Oklahoma once you get a good strong system, storm system like that coming in from the west. Now the other aspect of this element is the overlay of the shear profile. So we do have a southeast wind here at the surface, and then it kind of goes to directional shear like this, and then like this as you go up with height. So it's a corkscrew appearance. So a staircase goes up with height. So this is where you have your most favorable shear for the early part of the event, and then that shear will progress to the east, and I'll show you a map on that here in a second. As far as when you throw in the parameters for severe weather, starting from around 6-7 o'clock in the evening, the significant tornado parameters out there across western Oklahoma and eastern Texas panhandle. But there's a secondary area that kind of shows up here in southern Oklahoma and North Texas. Doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get a tornado in that area, it just means that's where the best conditions are. And then for the eastern Oklahoma, overnight into Arkansas by daybreak tomorrow. So, and these all are on the very low end. This is a very low magnitude event. Supercell type characteristics, same idea out in western Oklahoma. Then there's that big explosion there in southern Oklahoma and eastern Oklahoma. Overnight after midnight, so that's just again where the the moisture kind of continues to work in, overlaid with the shear, and that gives a better environment for those storms to kind of take that shape. Now here's a look at the photographs. So this is actually pretty cool. I showed this last night. It's kind of a neat little feature now that the researchers are playing with, and I love it. So you want, really, for a good strong storm structure, you want kind of a sickle shape photograph that kind of does something like this, really nice and uniform. So like this one looks pretty good, like this. So the idea is to have these nice clean appendages, but now they do get messy, but you can see how they shift from early in the evening to midnight here across the state and into North Texas. Into the early morning hours, kind of fizzles a little bit, and then kind of moves off into Arkansas for Thursday, and then kind of continues to move east. So that's how you can track the rotating storms within the better shear environments with that. And there's nuances within all of that nonsense, which does indicate, what kind of threat you will have, if it's going to be damaging winds or large hail or even potential tornadoes. All right, so let's go into the evening hours. So we're getting some showers tomorrow morning into the afternoon here across far eastern Oklahoma and Arkansas. It's not the main show. The main show will be out here to the west as we head into western Oklahoma here. You can see those showers and thunderstorms going gangbusters by the midnight hour, moving into the I-35 corridor after midnight here across Oklahoma City, points north and south. And that continues through Tulsa by the 5 a.m. hour, and then by Arkansas by around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And then we got the rest of the winter storm wraparounding up to the north, which we'll detail here in a second. Meanwhile, precipitation amounts still look fairly decent. Now, there will be some pockets. I'll give you an example of this. Here's a short-run HRR model. You notice it's got pockets here up around 1 to maybe even 2 inches of rain. So if we get some really good overlaying thunderstorms, kind of training on top of one another, we can get some really good rain. But the models, this model looks for that stuff. When we do a blend, it's going to smooth all that out. So for example, here's the blend. It's just going to show you where the majority, if you average everything out, the heaviest rain would be outside of those little mesoscale situations, and that is eastern half of Oklahoma versus the western half. But regardless, we've got some good rainfall coming for our drought conditions. Okay, so the upper low, where has it gone? Where will it be? Well, unfortunately, even from last night, it continues to shift just a hair to the north and west. So the center of it is now coming into northwest Oklahoma and the southeastern Kansas. Now this is based off the NAM model. But if that track were to verify, it continues to shift the significant snow to our north as a result of that. But let's take a look at how things ought to progress on a big view with the European model. Time it out for you. So there's those showers we talked about. by midnight hour, you can see them moving through here from western to central Oklahoma, even some to the north along the cold front boundary into northern Oklahoma and Kansas. And then that stretches all the way down to western Texas and North Texas by the 3 o'clock in the morning time frame. The snow wraps around from the panhandle out across Texas and Oklahoma, and that will move on into Kansas by that point in time. And then the system is out of here. So it's a quick moving deal. It's not going to last very long. Now, if we do look at just the European model for the snowfall element, the best opportunity of seeing some snowfalls that may be out of control will be up here in eastern and southeastern Kansas, maybe starting around the Wichita area, and then back here into northwest Oklahoma. Again, depending on how things go, it's possible we could see these higher amounts. This is on the high end, I will give you that. So, and we're still got another day to massage this data, but right now that's the way the European model has looked. We will see at least a little bit of ice with this, so some freezing rain accumulations here in northwest Oklahoma, probably just about as far south as Elk City to, let's call it Kingfisher to Guthrie to Stillwater to Bartlesville, points north and south, just enough to kind of glaze some of the bridges, overpasses, some of the roads. To be careful on Thursday morning as this system turns from the severe weather side to the cold weather side. Here in Oklahoma City, it's just the models are very, they're very lame on output, which could change, but right now they're very, very light. There does have a little bit of sleet likely to come down, but with some of the warmer temperatures and ground temps, that'll probably melt, and I'll show you the temperatures here in a second as to why. We're right on the leading edge of that. But if you do look at just a model blend of snow, which is a very conservative approach, out here in northwest Oklahoma, this is where your best shot of seeing some decent snow, around 5 inches or more, and that continues on up into Kansas. So it takes a few inches off the European, but the idea is still driven home. Most of the measurable snow will be in northwest Oklahoma, the northern counties. I-44 corridor is the bottom end where we'll see a dusting to maybe about a half an inch. The European still likes the idea of about half an inch on most of its ensemble blends. So that's about the most I could promise you. However, once we look into the future for next week, 23rd, we do see another storm system with a signal of a lot of snow. Even after that, there's some other snow signals. So we're not done with winter. We're not done with our potential for snow. We just have to watch each one of these events. And this is for the Oklahoma City region. Now, if you do look at the winter storm impact because of the snow, the blowing snow, etc., and the heavy accumulations, there is going to be a significant impact up here, a moderate across Kansas and Missouri and maybe northern Oklahoma, because yes, that is some significant snowfall. Just won't be here in Oklahoma City, for example, or even Tulsa. Now we look at the temperatures. Now today, gorgeous again. However, very, very windy this afternoon. Again, watch out for the fire danger. We'll be in the 60s, maybe in a few 70s again out there in southwest Oklahoma. On Wednesday, same kind of idea, but not quite as warm likely just because of increase in cloud cover here in central and east, some of those showers. But otherwise, much warmer out in western Oklahoma, so some 70s out there again. And then the cold front comes in Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So by the time we head to 6 o'clock in the morning, we're only about 40 degrees here in Oklahoma City and then slowly dropping. And that's the kicker here. The models have backed off the leading edge of this cold air. So they've kind of moderated a bit. And that's probably going to save us and Tulsa from seeing anything significant when it comes to ice. You still can get some sleet in this environment. But as far as any icing on the roadways, that does not look likely. It looks better opportunity up here in this blue shading, which I kind of outlined for you a little bit earlier. So that's where the freezing line would be in the early morning hours as the system kind of continues. Now we will see temperatures continue to fall here. So there's 9 o'clock in the morning, for example, in Oklahoma City. Technically still a couple degrees above freezing, and we can still get snow, and we will likely see some snow in that environment. We do hit around freezing by around lunchtime as the system is starting to pull away, and then we'll start to rebound in the afternoon. But it'll be a cold day overall. So Thursday will not be a pretty day. It'll be windy, it'll be cold, still blowing snow up north. When you do factor in the winds, I'll just show you the wind chill value. For Thursday itself, we'll be going from the 20s to the teens out there from central to northern, northwestern Oklahoma. So just a kind of a brutal day on Thursday as it is. And that was reflected in the 10-day outlook. So again, great weather days here overall for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Wednesday night is when things go downhill, so quite a bit colder on Thursday. So we'll spend most of the day in the 20s and 30s across the state. This will be this 40s for the midnight high. And then on Friday, very cold morning, teens and 20s out there over the state of Oklahoma, but a nice rebound, so that's good. The exception of this right here would be the northern and northwest, where you have that snowpack on the ground. That will help to limit this warm-up. Otherwise, warm-up looks good over the weekend on into early next week. And as we talked about, again, European, and others are hinting at some more monkey business in this region here, which they've already started to kind of fudge the temperatures. So we'll look for these temperatures to change a little bit more as the data becomes a bit more clear, but another potential for some snow at that point in time. All right, I told you that was a mouthful. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching today, sharing this video with your friends and family on Facebook. Again, if you're having trouble getting live notifications, I just posted the link to where you can get a direct instant message from me. That way you don't miss a broadcast. I'll do another one probably. I'll try to at lunch tomorrow, no guarantees. But I will be doing them live tonight around 9:30, and again on Wednesday also around 9:30. And then we'll see how Thursday goes. But right now that's what we've got for you. So just kind of be prepared for a little bit of severe weather coming our way for Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. And then a little wraparound snow on the backside for at least the northwestern third of the state, with the I-44 corridor from Tulsa to Oklahoma City being on the fringe of that. Maybe half inch of snow. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, that is it for me. I got to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And we'll talk again soon. Take care.